this is the PTA meeting. We are going to talk about art. It's the People Talk About Art. So we're having a PTA meeting. We're going to be here and we're going to talk about a PTA meeting, right, Barbara? Yeah. So, you know, people talk about all kinds of things. We talk about, we'll just name a few things. Well, we talk about sex. That's one thing for sure. We talk about clothes. We talk about houses. We talk food. What else do we talk about?
Pets.
Pets, music. Yeah, what else?
Grandchildren.
Grandchildren. Yes, Tim?
Can we talk about the kids throwing trash in my yard on the way home from school?
We're going to talk about the kids throwing trash in his yard on the way home from school. Now, I'll tell you, at the PTA, we do not like the kids throwing trash in Tim's yard. Now, what I would do with that trash is I'd bundle it up, and I'd wrap it with, I don't know, something real sticky. No, I shouldn't say this. Now, this is something. Tim, I don't know about that. Now, that's going to have to be saved for the next meeting. Anybody else have something? I'm sorry I couldn't answer that completely. I felt a little getting kind of out there. What? Anybody else?
People.
What?
People.
We talk about people. We talk about each other. Now that's the thing that gets kind of sticky too. Now that gets real sticky. I think your lips should stick together when you start talking about other people. You just can't quite do it. But anyway, now those are the things we talk about. But tonight we're talking about art. We're going to talk about art. But before we talk about art, you all feel so far away, Wilbur. But anyway, when you talk about, let's warm up our faces tonight. So now first do the biggest, happiest face you've ever done. Big, and a giggle, do a giggle. Because we're practicing, we're warming up. Now do a big laugh. And a big clap. And then a big cry, Hopefully not a boo, no boos, let's not do a boo. Unless we could do a boo to the trash in the front yard. Let's go do a boo on the trash in the front yard.
Boo on the trash in the front yard.
Boo on the trash in the front yard. Yeah, we'll boo on that one. And then, if you all want, do you have anything you do? Throw me out a feeling or something. Throw me something.
Excitement.
So we're really excited. So go to excited. Go for excitement. Okay. I know, I'm just trying to warm us up. You feel so far away, but I know you're right in my heart. Yeah, we're right here together. But anyway, what I wanted to say was this. Uh-oh, it went out just like that. It went just that fast. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. I wanted to thank people. I wanted to thank you all for coming tonight. So thank you so much, each and every one of you, for being here. And I want to thank Ron Holman for doing this video. Thank you, Ron. And you, Ron, right there. Thank you so much, Ron. I want to thank Born Orchard and the Treasures Roadhouse. Thank you, Born. This is August 22nd, by the way, 2014, and we're in Corralitos, California. That's just in case you didn't know where you were. And I want to thank PT, and her name really is PT. She's from the PT. Thank you, PT. Her name really is PT. I tell you, anybody that works for the PTA has to be named Pete, oh, my name is Pete, by the way. I'm Pete. Yeah, that's my full name, Pete. So anyway, the other thing was, I wanted to thank, and tonight's special guests are Michael Scott. Please give a hand. And he's going to be accompanied by Danny Gross. Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Now, have I forgotten any thanking that I'm supposed to thank? Any thank yous? No, I don't think so. Now, I wanted to do this thing, I don't know, but I know I shouldn't get too far off the mic, but I got to get a little off wrong, like that. So let's do a song together for the audience, and it goes, people talk a little, people talk a lot. So try that. People talk a little, people talk a lot. Do that again. People talk a little, people talk a lot. Do it one more time. People talk a little, people talk a lot. Then go down lower. People talk a little, people talk a lot. People talk a little, people talk a lot. Then go back up. People talk a little, people talk a lot. People talk a little, people talk a lot. PTA, people talk about art. So let's do that again together. Let's do that together now, kind of a little faster. We'll get more excited, so maybe a little higher. Beep, beep, beep. Here we go. People talk a little, people talk a lot. 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 PTA, people talk about art. Here we go. See, that's our little jingle for the show. I think I did everything I was supposed to. Now I'm going to go right on over here, and I'm just going to sit down for a minute over here. And I'm just going to take off my hat and bring Pipa out. So please give a hand for Pipa. Oh, thank you so much for coming to the PTA and for putting up with Pita. Yeah, Pita. So, I'm so grateful to be here. Oh, Mary. Hi, Mary. That's great. We are in a PTA meeting, so I know each of you personally. So anyway, the one thing I wanted to say about the PTA, I should have said when I was over there, Pita wanted me to remind you of something. We often have these meetings. Am I talking loud enough? I did not plug in. PTA, people talk about art. Excuse me. I'm just going to plug in. You know, it's okay to be goofy. I was going to say, this is the worst. Oh, maybe. The worse I look, the better the artists look. You know, so I can be as silly and as crazy as I want. And it makes them look better. So that's my whole philosophy on myself. So, but what I was going to say about the PTA, in case you're interested, since you are here and all, right, anyway, the thing is that the PTA, we meet all the time. We've been meeting for years, and we have a lot of board members, and we just meet through our minds. We just think, you know, some people are in Reno, or some people are in different locations, and we just, I know that might not make sense to you, but we've been having a lot of meetings of the mind in the PTA. And now this is one of our second times to have it physical like this. We're having a physical PTA meeting. See what I'm talking about? Official. It's official, right, PT? Yeah. Thank you. So anyway, let's get down to some business now. So, PTA, official PTA business. So, my special guest tonight is Michael Scott. So, I want to say a little bit about him before he comes out. One thing I really appreciate about Michael is he has a wonderful way, he has the art of living down. He really, his whole life feels like art to me. Michael is a man of many disciplines. He's built homes, he's built boats, he's enjoys walking on the greens with his best friends. He likes to soar in the sky in airplanes. He's a pilot. And he writes songs with his wife Lori, and he records his own music, and now he owns his own recording studio. And I've had the great pleasure to work with him in his studio. So please welcome my friend, Michael Scott. Holy God! Come on up. Put that in.
It's about time. Oh no, it's about art.
No, it's about art. Uh-huh. Any more jokes? Weren't there some snail jokes? No.
No, we'll save those.
Okay. Hi, Michael. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. And
So,
hello, everybody. Oh,
go ahead.
There's people out there.
There's people, see? Come to the PTA
All
meeting.
right.
Hello! So, Michael, we're just going to have a really casual conversation here. I just wanted to just introduce you to Michael a little bit, and in the artistic realm, and just ask a few questions. And of course, if anything doesn't feel comfortable, no, you don't have to answer. You can just guide the questions.
All right, I'm
somewhere else.
uncomfortable already. Keep
Okay. Well, no. My first question is this is a real easy one. Where were you born and raised?
Born in Palo Alto and raised in California up on the summit, up in Santa Cruz Mountains.
Mm-hmm. At the place where I've met you?
Pretty much, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I pretty much still live in the house I grew up in.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful adobe house, by the way. Beautiful. So, oh wait, another question about, like, what's that hat mean that you have on there?
Oh, the May the Force be with you.
What's that?
It's sort of, well, I think it's where it comes from is that movie, you know, where I think it's that, where they had the hobbits. Remember they had the hobbits? And they had those, remember those huge trees in that movie? And the huge trees decided to take over. And they started destroying this place, and so this means, may the Force be with you, because you want to be on their side.
You want to be on the side of the tree.
It's either that or the Star Wars, one of the two. I can't remember.
That's cool. Okay. So what was your first, as a boy, what was your first musical memory?
Musical memory. I knew you were going to ask me this question, so I thought about it a bunch. My first musical memory is probably sitting in a living room listening to my parents' albums, and there were two albums that stick out. One was Gilbert and Sullivan, I think that's right, The Pirates of Penzance. I Am the Very Model of a Modern Major General.
Oh, can you sing some of it for us?
You know what, I was thinking I would be able to sing it for you, but now that I'm up here, I don't think I can. But I remember singing that, and I actually had pretty much knew that whole song as about a 4 or 5-year-old, and I would walk around the house singing it. And the other one was, the other album that I remember distinctly was Harry Belafonte's at Carnegie Hall. And, you know, the day-o, day-o, daylight come and I wanna go home. Hey, bees a hey-o. And on and on. But yeah, what a wonderful song. So those were probably the first
two songs.
First songs that I.
Those were big songs to hear as a little boy.
Yeah, well, you know, when you grow up back in the late 50s and early 60s, that's the kind of stuff you know, that your parents were listening to. So that's what I was listening to.
Yeah,
our poor children had to listen to the Beatles, but you know.
So, what do you remember as your first creative passion? Because you have so many passions. So, which was your first creative passion?
First creative passion. That's a tough one. Well, it's probably after I got a little bit older, and it was probably building. Just, you know, my stepfather was a builder. He raised me, and I kind of knew that I'd be a builder right from early on, because I wasn't very good in school. I didn't like school much, so I figured that that would be the direction I would go. And building, you know, it just came easy and natural to me. So that was probably my first big passion, was just building stuff.
You probably did that with your
and
father.
taking stuff apart too.
Figuring out how it worked by doing that.
My dad bought me a piano from an auction up here at Skyland up on the road. I remember we bought this piano for like $10. And I got it home, and I remember the first thing I did is I took the thing completely apart because I wanted to see how it worked. And soon we had a piano in about 1 million pieces, and it never did go back together. But I kind of figured out how it worked after that. But so that, just you know, just kind of building stuff.
That physical.
Yeah, putting stuff together.
And it sounds like you did that with your dad, so that's kind of a neat thing too.
Yeah, he was the one that taught me, you know, he taught me how to work, basically. I had a lot of mentors over the years teaching me how to actually build and stuff, but he taught me how to work.
He's the one. Okay, now what was your first musical experience?
Well, first musical experience is that when I was about 8 years old, my parents decided that we had a Steinway baby grand and somebody had to play it. And so I had to take piano lessons.
And I didn't know that.
I took piano lessons for about 6 years. And that's probably one of the few regrets I have in my life, is that I hated those piano lessons, unfortunately.
Not a good piano teacher?
Well, you know, whatever. But it was something that I was sort of forced to do, you know, and I wish I would have carried on with it and actually pursued it down the road. It would have been, you know, helped me a lot. But I did play at my 8th grade graduation.
You played the piano?
I played the piano. I played the theme to Exodus at my 8th grade graduation, and that was pretty much my claim to fame. And after that, I was old enough to basically say, no, I'm not going to take piano lessons anymore.
When you're feeling forced, that makes it a different thing than a choice.
Very much.
That's a different thing. Okay, so a choice, though, I remember you saying something about a tree house. What was that?
Well, yeah, that was when I actually started playing for fun. I moved to, I left home when I was right after 17, 18. I never did quite get through high school, and had to get out of the house. And so I went to, as far away as I could, I went to New York City, and ended up in New York, and I had some friends in Long Island, and they had some friends. I had a friend down there I'd actually met out here in California, and she said, you know, you should go up to Vermont and meet my friends up in Vermont. You'd probably really like them. And so I went up to Vermont, and they were living in a tree house up behind Marlborough College, and it was pretty cool. You know, I was about 18 years old, and there was about 6 or 7 people there. We lived in a 2-story tree house, plastic tree house, and it was pretty much fun. We had and everybody in that tree house had a guitar, and they were all musicians. All of them were musicians, ranging from extremely good musicians down to me, who had never played the guitar before. And so I had to pretty much go out and buy a guitar, which I did, and that was sort of the beginning of me actually sort of getting involved in music and playing the guitar a little bit. And yeah, we had a wonderful summer there. We lived there that summer. And,
would you say that's where a big spark happened for you?
Not necessarily. It was just sort of a burning ember, I think.
Burning ember, okay. Okay. I like that.
I mean, you know, I never took it, I never got serious. I mean, these boys would sit up there and they would do their scales for hours and hours and hours on end, you know, the good musicians. And I was off, you know, doing other fun stuff.
being a young man.
Yes.
So when was this, what happened for you when you started, why did you start writing songs? Why did you start playing music? What happened and when?
It probably happened, I mean, I dabbled in it a little bit, but when I moved back here, I sort of lived back and forth in Canada and down here in the States, and I finally ended up, Laurie and I moved out here to California in about 91, 92, somewhere in there. And I had a storage unit for a while, and sometimes in the storage units, people leave their stuff. They just walk away from them. And so the person walked away from this one. I go into the storage unit, and I look in there, and I'm throwing stuff in the truck for the dumpster, and I pick up this guitar case, and it's heavy.
Wow.
I go, maybe I should look in this guitar case. So I open up this guitar case, and it's a 1962 Fender Jaguar.
Whoa.
In mint condition.
Wow.
So I went, oh, this is kind of cool. And so I guess the guy doesn't owe me any money anymore. And so I took that guitar, and you know, I went down to the music store and bought a little amp and brought it down and kind of strummed on it for a while. And one of my friends one of our parents in the school that had kids in the school was a bass player. I showed it to him, and he said, oh, well, let's start playing. So we got together, and we started playing a little bit, and, you know, and it was pretty rough, and to say the least. But we sort of stuck with it, and we were playing, and then he said, I got a friend of mine I'm going to bring over and play with us. So this guy came over, and he was a guitar player, and he sat down, and we played, and it was pretty rough. And he told me, this friend of mine told me later, many, many, many years later, he said, when I walked in there and sat down with you two and played, he said, I came this close to leaving. It was so bad. And that person was Danny, right?
And now
and so, but you know what, we stuck with it. And after about a year, I guess so, we had a band.
Wow.
And you know, I sort of started, that's when I started getting serious about music. Yeah. Then I had to learn, because I had to play. I'd never played with somebody else before, so my rhythm was way off. I had no rhythm. What am I talking about? I had zero rhythm, and so but I learned, and I stuck with it, and I practiced every day, and I got to the point where I could sort of, you know, tap my foot and keep time, and they still wouldn't let me play with the tambourine, but they always take that away from me. But anyway.
I still don't play the tambourine.
So anyway, that's sort of where it started.
So that's where it started. And who would you say influenced you, like as far as music styles, or was there a particular musician that?
It would probably be, I spent about 10 years in Texas, in Austin, Texas, before we moved out here, and I think a lot of the Austin musicians, Guy Clark, Robert O'Keefe, you know, Joe Ely, guys like that, were big influences. Willie Nelson, obviously, and you know, some of the old boys. They were, I mean, I love that music, that singer-songwriter type music. You know, and also a lot of the, from being in Nova Scotia, when I lived in Nova Scotia, the Celtic, you know, music, the fiddle music and stuff. I really enjoyed that stuff. So I've sort of pulled from a lot of that.
Both of those inspiring. I can
Yeah.
hear that in your music, both of those. And so when you write your songs, when you're writing them now, is your focus on, or is your passion, is it telling the story? Is it expressing your feelings? Does something happen that makes you want to write a song? What happens for you as a songwriter? I know
No
that's
idea. No idea.
No idea.
No
It's
idea.
just different each time.
Yeah, I try to describe songwriting for me, and I just got to describe it like throwing up. And there it is.
There it is.
And there it is. I have no control over it. I really don't. I haven't written a song for a while, and then all of a sudden I'll write 3 songs. And I have no idea why, and I find if I try to push it, it's useless. It doesn't feel right, the song doesn't come out right, and it just, but when it's ready to come, it'll come.
It'll come. So,
Yeah. I'm not a songwriter. I don't have to write songs. Nobody's making me write songs, so I'll just, if it's ready to come, it'll come. And that's.
So it's inspirations. You just go, I'm
I
ready, it's here.
I just don't know why. I really don't. I can't tell you why.
It's a
or where.
mystery.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery, and it
Yeah.
is a mystery.
Yeah.
I mean, creativity is a mystery. Well, that's
Right.
interesting that it feels like throwing up.
I've listened to songwriters talk about how they write and stuff, and usually my songs get written in about 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, they'll come
All
out.
the way?
They'll be pretty much fleshed out in 10 minutes, and then I'll refine them a little bit.
Edit
But
a
the
little
main basis of the song just happens, and there it is. And, this sounds pretty good.
And then it kind of stays, if you fiddle with it too much, you can kind of tear it apart too far.
Right.
But if it just comes out like that, it does feel kind of like a complete whole.
Yeah, that's just the way it seems to work for me. It works different for everybody.
Yeah, it does. It's individual. It's an individual thing. So, as far as local musicians, what local musicians do you like working with? Who are they?
Well, Jimmy Norris.
Jimmy
first.
Norris.
Jimmy Norris has become a really, really good friend of mine. He's the best drummer in Santa Cruz by far, I think. Personal opinion.
Me too. Love Jimmy Norris.
Yeah, and his lovely girlfriend / other, Sharon Allen.
Sharon Allen.
She's also wonderful to work with. Yourself, she's a wonderful musician to work with. There's, obviously Denny is, he's my main guy. We work with him. I've worked with him a lot.
He's from the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
The beginning of your...
There's a few people on my ad. Patty she did a little bit.
Patty
Charlie
Wallace.
Charlie Wallace, he worked with. So I've been really fortunate because I've been able to work with just some incredible musicians here in Santa Cruz, and through you and through Jimmy, and so it's a real treat.
Yeah, you've worked with some fabulous people.
Yeah,
Really
absolutely.
fabulous. Okay, the other thing that I was interested in is, as I was mentioning when you were backstage, that you have many things that you do that are creative and about your passion. So one of the things I was thinking about you is like when you're flying, do you hear music? And when you're playing music, are you flying? Is there what kind of relationship is there between your passions?
None whatsoever.
None. It's very honest. I like that.
None whatsoever. No, when I fly, I fly.
You fly. No music is in your head.
I'm focused
Oh,
on the
'cause you don't wanna
instruments,
die.
I'm focused on the ATC, I'm focused on all the stuff that it takes to fly.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
it.
See,
And
there you go. That's
I
right.
have music in my plane, but I won't listen to it. They have the guy that had the plane before me. He had Sirius radio, and I won't listen to music while I'm flying because there's too much. There's too much going on. Flying is one of those things that if you screw up, that's it.
That's it. There's not a second chance.
So you don't. So you just don't screw up. And I think if you
I
get
like
distracted
that.
listening to music and other stuff, it probably is not a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think that's a brilliant answer. And same with music actually. I'm going to answer my own question. When you're performing and you're singing, you shouldn't be thinking of something else unless it's about your song. If there's like an airplane in your song or something. But otherwise, we're supposed to be pretty present, right? You might need to write a song about flying.
Well, it's funny you say that because I thought about, I should write a song about flying.
Yeah, flying.
It's not there.
But it'll come when it's
It
ready.
might, but it's not there. And that's just one of those things. I mean, I can't just sit down and write a song about flying. I don't know. What would you sing about? You know? Laughing your way, putting the throttle in. I don't know.
Well, you never know. I think that when we gather information by our life experience, it comes in.
We'll see.
We'll see about that. Okay, what else did I want to ask you? Well, I wanted to, let's see. Well, I did want to say that Michael has recorded a couple of his own CDs, and for the camera. Here's his first CD, Asylum's Way, that he did, that Daniel B. Lewis produced, and Lori Scott helped write a lot of these songs, right?
And we actually did the recording of this mostly at Mr. Prince's.
At Tim Prince's place.
Tim
That's
Prince's
right. That's
studio.
right. That is right. I remember that. See, there we go.
So,
And then this one, Reunion. Where did you record this one?
I think a little bit got recorded at Tim's, a little bit. This one sort of got recorded in about 3 different studios. Just sort of, I think it ended up at mine at the end.
Because Michael has created his own music studio now. And I wanted to kind of go there. I want to thank you for all the, I recorded several albums at Michael's studio. Blue Heart, Dream Beach album with Daniel, beautiful. Michael has recorded that. You did the soundtrack for my play, Bridges Between. And right now, he and I are working on my album called Wash Me Clean. So I wanted to thank you for working with me like this. And
well, getting to work with Pipa, as I'm sure everybody out here knows, is a real treat in itself. She's one of the most talented people in Santa Cruz as well. I think. So it is a real treat, and the new album I think is pretty good, pretty darn good.
Pretty darn good.
So I think
ukulele voice.
You guys will enjoy it when it comes out.
In about a month, it's going to be coming out. So, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to talk about? Something I left out?
No, boy, I don't know, people. I think you covered most
Did
of the
I cover it?
bases. You did mention about wanting to know more about boats. I did start a boat studio in Nova Scotia, and a boat building company, and Covey Island Boat Works. It's still actually going today, and that was a lot of fun. The experience of living in Nova Scotia was just awesome.
Were you on a boat? Were you living on a boat?
No, I lived on an island.
Okay.
But you learn a lot of things when you go out to Nova Scotia to live on an island.
Wow.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
In Canada, it was I ended up going down to Texas and meeting Lori down there, and then I drug her back up to the island for a summer, just so she could experience it. But just learning to run boats, and when we first get there, learning just simple things like tying the boat up to the dock. Some of the first times we'd tie the boat up to the dock and forget about the tides, and so we'd tie it up really tight at high tide, and we'd walk out about 6 hours later, and there are boats hanging from the dock about 6 feet above the water.
Because of the tide, right.
And we're looking at it going, oh, what do we do now? Or the fact that we didn't tie it on good enough a few times, and we'd get up in the morning and we'd look out and there wouldn't be a boat.
Ooh, that's scary.
And
how would you deal with that?
well, we had a neighbor across the road, Mansfield Hurdle. He lived on Hurdle Island, and naturally. And Mansfield was an old fisherman, and he sort of helped us along, in our blunders, and so we would call Mansfield on the CB radio. We'd say, Mansfield, have you seen our boat? He'd go, nope, haven't seen the boat. Okay, Mansfield, and we'd see. So he'd be out there, fooling around, and we knew he knew where our boat was, but he'd be fooling around at his dock, and after about a half hour, he'd get in his boat, and he'd come over, and he'd say, how you doing, boys? We're going, well, we're okay, everything's good, except we lost our boat. So that's tough, boys. That's pretty tough. He says, but I'm pretty busy, so I'll see you later. So then he'd go away. About 20 minutes later, he'd come back, and we'd say, well, Mansfield, do you know where our boat is? Nope. Well, he said, but you got a cup of coffee? He said, so we'd bring him in, we'd have to have coffee. And after about an hour of all this sort of back and forth, finally he'd say, I was looking out at the Spedicles, and the Spedicles were these little islands about a mile away. He said, I thought I saw something out in the Spedicles. So we get the glasses and we could, sure enough, there's our boat going up against the shore. And we'd say, oh man, could you give us a ride out there and get our boat? Yeah, nope, too busy. Off he'd leave. And then he'd come back about an hour later.
Wow,
he'd say,
he made you work for it.
Oh, he made us work for it. He'd get us and we'd go get our boat. But, yeah, that was a wonderful learning experience. He was a wonderful, wonderful human. And it was, we had a lot of fun there. A lot of hard work, but a lot of fun.
And another one of your creative adventures of, a big chapter in your life. Okay, well, I think we are going to need some time to change the tape, right, Ron? So we're going to change the tape, and then we're going to invite Danny. Before you change the tape, should we invite Danny up before or after the tape?
After.
After. So, Michael, you can introduce this because why I'm up here.
Oh, right. Okay, we're back on. Well, first I want to bring on Danny Gross.
Yoo-hoo!
And after all these years, he's still playing with me. I pay him heavily, though.
Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail. Anyway, we're going to play a few songs off a couple of the albums, and a couple new ones that aren't really new anymore, but we have to sit. I guess we're going to sit. Not used to sitting.
How does it feel?
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, let me tune up a little bit. While I'm tuning up here, this first song is off the first album here that I did. And a song called If I Could, and Pipa sang on it with me on the album, and Lori sang on it with me on the album, but she won't come up here and sing. So Pipa's going to kind of fill in her place.
This is for you, Lori.
And I also want to point out that Lori wrote this song, the words to this song, and I put the music to it, and on the first album, she wrote, I don't know, most of the songs, really, didn't she? Quite a few of them. She wrote quite a few of them on the first album. So,
Great writer. Let's give a hand to Lori.
She's a wonderful artist. Anyway, I also want to point out that I am an amateur musician. I'm not a professional musician.
Don't tell me.
I'm not even a semi-pro. Well, I'm kind of a semi-pro, I guess. Sort of like a double A.
You're a double A.
So I might have to use a cheat sheet a little bit. This is called If I Could. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I could hold you once again, oh, I'd whisk you straight away. A wind so strong you'd feel like summer sun in shades of gray. I could hold you once again. Yellow sunburst up ahead. I feel as though we're being led. Your condensation now
again. Oh, maybe you would come to stay. If I could hold you once again. Oh, maybe you would come to stay. If I could hold you once again.
I could hold you once again.
Oh, maybe you would come to stay. If I could hold you once again.
If I could hold you once again.
Oh, maybe you would come to stay. If I could hold you once again.
If I could hold you once again.
Thank you. Thank you, Pipa. What a treat. All right, Danny.
I get to sit down.
So this next song is, flip the page. See if I can remember, there it is. This next song is actually one of a newer song that I wrote, and I wrote it about 5 years ago. So you can tell how many songs I've been writing lately. This song's called Keep On Coming Back to You. It's about that girlfriend that you had that you just couldn't break up with, and you just kept coming on back, and she kept coming on back. Try as you might, you could not break up with each other. So.
Street lights are buzzing on a Friday night. Finish my shift, I'm feeling alright. I got some money in my pocket, I'm thinking I just might head on down to the bar. Then it all starts coming back to me. The screaming and yelling about wanting to be free. Took all your stuff and threw it in the trunk, and you drove away in your car. I don't think that you got very far. Seen you going down this road before. Got it all figured out. Your foot's to the floor. Got the wind in your hair and the radio on. Lord, you're singing at the top of your lungs. Then you start running out of gas. You look in the mirror, see a teardrop splash. You know you never ever really gonna get me out of your mind. There you go, turning around again one more time. I don't know if it's so good for us to keep fooling around. their yard. Laughing, drinking, talking with your friends like nothing ever was wrong. Guess I got a choice to make. Do I walk on in and try to fake it? Do I turn around and walk on out of your life? Maybe is this the end? So I opened the door and I found myself walking back in. I don't know if it's so good for us to keep fooling around this way. Every time it starts to get good, pain creeps in to stay. When you start looking at me like that, oh, there's nothing I can do. You keep coming on back to me. I keep coming on back to you. You keep coming on back to me, and I keep coming on back to you. You keep coming on back to me, and I keep coming on back to you.
Thank you. All right. So this next song here is a song I wrote. It's called Just Like My Old Man, and it's sort of the song I wrote it. Not so much about my old man, but about me turning into my old man. Growing up, sort of starting to realize that, oh my God, it's happening. Here we go. One.
I'd like to drive a tractor around. I pound the nails home until they are down. I shape the wood into things that I need. And I love to do these things. It's who I wanna be. I use the tools that belong to my old man. Sometimes I can feel him when I work on this land. The way he went is the way I go now. And I'll never be as good as him, but I think he would be proud. They say the acorn never falls far from the tree. When the son follows the father, that's the way it should be. And I never ever thought it would happen to me. But I'm more and more like my old man than I ever thought I'd be. Now I'm the old man, and my kids are almost grown. It's time to pass the wisdom, pass it on, oh pass it on. Let's go.
Thank you. All right. Get close to the end here. Why? Not feel bad about it. Already had my mind. Have you? Yeah. Was that when you were whining to me earlier? All right. I just had to double this check now. Anyway, this next song is a song that is a title song for my reunion album I put out, and it's called Skinner Creek. It's about the family reunion we have at our farm. And when I was doing this album here, it was songs about my family, you know, my father, my mom, blah, blah, blah. And my wife, Lori, here had just a brainstorm, brilliant idea. So she says, Michael, because we were going to the family reunion that year, and she says, Michael, we should name this album Reunion. And she said, and then we'll put a picture of the farm on it, and the title song will be Skinner Creek, and we'll take it out there to the reunion, and we'll be able to get rid of at least 200 of them. So that means we'll only have 767 left. So we did. So anyway, this song is about Skinner Creek. Skinner Creek Farm is the name of the farm that my grandparents had, my mother's parents, and 40 acres, gorgeous 40 acres up in northern Wisconsin, gorgeous for about 2 months of the year. The other months not so gorgeous, but you know how it is up there. And he homesteaded in 1910, and he was an amazing man. You know, he basically did subsistence living back there. That you know they had no electricity and had to do everything. And he had an apiary. He made honey, or he had bees that made the honey. And anyway, and he would trade the honey for flour and stuff and all that kind of stuff. And so he on his cans of honey, he had these great labels. You know, the Skinner Creek Farm. And his motto was, Skinner Creek Farm skins no man. I used to love it. So it's still in the family today, and we still go up there and have reunions up there. And so it's probably sort of like some of your family reunions. This song, you just have to sort of change the names. I think it would fit. So here we go. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, it's pandemonium at the farm. All my cousins are here and my grandma's yard, telling us how our things used to be. Hey, you, get out of that tree, 'cause I'm going down to Skinner Creek. These are memories that I can't keep. We're going down to the fishing hole. We're catching fish with a fishing pole. Well, it's Marge and Merrill and Nancy too. Well, they're telling everybody just what to do. They make everything just right as we laugh and sing late into the night. Going down to Skinner Creek. These are memories I can't keep. We're going down to the swimming hole. Cleanse our bodies, free our souls. Laid back Lenny, Uncle Tony, and Joe, they're always together wherever they go. That's them sitting out back by the barn. Man, they love this old farm, 'cause I'm going down to Skinner Creek. These are memories I can't keep. We're going down crawdad fishing, catching Jody and her boyfriend over there kissing. Oh, Skinner Creek Farm, it skins no man. That's a label he put on the can of the honey he got from the hive. But this old farm was in its prime. Grandpa and Grandma, they're long in the ground. Their spirits are still around. You can hear the laughter in the air. You can feel the joy everywhere. Let's go. Uncle Eric's telling jokes that you could be missing. Tell them to anybody that'll listen. Never really understand the punchline, and it don't matter. We laugh every time, 'cause I'm going down to Skinner Creek. These are memories I can't keep. We're going down to the fishing hole. We're catching big fish with a bamboo pole. Every daughter and son, Lord, it must have been about 100 cousins. The family reunion like you wouldn't believe. Nobody ever wants to leave us. Going down to Skinner Creek. These are memories I can't keep. We're going down to the swimming hole. Cleanse our bodies and free our souls. Yeah, we're all going down to Skinner Creek. These are memories that run deep. We're going down to bare our souls, and maybe our bottoms at the swimming hole.
Thank you so much. All right, moving right along here. I'm going to do a cover now. I try not to do a lot of covers, but there's so many good songs out there, and usually I only do songs that wish I wrote. This is one of them. It's a song by Fred Eaglesmith. I'm sure you all know, or some of you probably know. It's called Summer. It's my wife's favorite song.
Nighttime's falling on the summer lee, and the supper's getting cold. Second time in as many weeks that he hasn't shown. Probably chasing some old steer across some prairie stone. When you ask him, he'll just shrug and say that's the way things go. Twice a month, and he gets out as fast as he can. Don't have a phone, so she can't call him up, and she never knows where he is. But he smells like horses, he chews tobacco, he cusses, and he spits. She's been in love a couple times before, but never quite like this. Next month it'll be those damn rodeos and fairs. He'll be gone for 6 weeks straight to God only knows where. And he won't win any money, and worse than that, he won't care. When she asks him, he'll just smile. I had a real good time out there. Town twice a month, gets out as fast as he can. He don't have a phone, she can't call him up, and she never knows where he is. Well, he smells like horses, he chews tobacco and cusses, and he spits. She's been in love times before, but never quite like this. Well, he stops his horse, get a light, and the water rolls off his hat. He's out in the storm most of the night, and he ought to be getting back. Well, he thinks of the color of her hair and the touch of her hand, and the way she quietly smiles whenever she looks at him. But he only gets into town twice a month, gets out as fast as he can. And he don't have a phone, so he can't call her up, and he never knows where she is. Well, she smells like horses and perfume and tobacco and gin. Oh, he's been in love a couple times before, but never quite like this. Oh, he's been in love a couple times before, but never quite like this. Let's go around again, Jay. Nighttime's falling on the summer leaves, and the summer's getting cold. All right, well, I got one, maybe two. One or two. This is a song I wrote for my dear wife, and if I haven't mentioned her yet, that's her over there, Lori. Without Lori, I'm not sure what I would do. She is quite possibly the most supportive woman I've ever met. And how she's put up with me over the years is pretty much a miracle. So anyway, Lori's birthday is on Christmas, and she feels a bit slighted because of that. So usually I get her something nice, but sometimes I forget. And at the very last minute, I have to go up to the studio and write her a quick song, and then I give her a song for her birthday. And that seems to work pretty good. Anyway, I did it once, and then I had to do it one more time, and then I've been smart enough never to ever do it again. So this was the last birthday song, and it might still be the last birthday song. It's called The Birthday Song. She's the one with the light brown hair. It's a little gray hair, but I don't care. She's the one with the love so true. I'm a lucky guy to be loved by you. Oh, let's go back on a little remember. It was about 1982. We were making flowers on a Mardi Gras tree road. That's when I caught an eye for you. And I don't know what made you say yes. I was such a messed up guy. I guess you saw something nobody else did. You took my hand down in '85. And you're the one so true. I'm a lucky guy to be loved by you. Our wheels might be rusty, but our engine runs fine. It's carrying our loving on down the line. It's a birthday song, oh I know it ain't a lot, but I give it to you, cause it's all I got. Years roll by, we'll do it again, because we know that our loving will never end. You're the one that makes the sun shine. You want it rain, you can do that too. You're the one that keeps the clouds away, keeps the skies all shiny and blue. You're the one with the light brown hair, it's a little gray hell, but I don't care. And you're the one with the love so true, a lucky guy to be loved by you. Oh, I'm a lucky guy to be loved by you. Well, I'm a lucky guy to be loved by you.
All right, you want me to do one more, or should we? One more, okay. So we'll finish. I'll do a cover here, okay? Do the first one. This is a song by one of my favorite songwriters, Warren Zevon, and he wrote it when he was dying, but it's such a pretty song. Shadows are falling, running out of space. Keep me in your heart for a while. If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love you less. Keep me in your heart for a while. When you get up in the morning and you see that crazy sun, keep me in your heart for a while. There's a train leaving nightly, oh, when it's all said and done, keep me in your heart for a while. Singing sha-na-na-na, na-na-na-na. Keep me in your heart for a while. You can sing with us if you want. I'm singing sha-na-na-na, na-na-na-na. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sometimes when you're doing simple things around the house, maybe you'll think of me and smile. You know I'm tied to you like the buttons on your blouse. Keep me in your heart for a while. job with you tonight. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. That was so
You're welcome.
beautiful. Wow. Thank you, Michael. Wow, that was really incredible.
Dear.
That was so beautiful.
Oh.
Wow, that last song was like,
You
whoo.
just said it.
Whoa.
Oh,
Oh,
well.
I'm glad I didn't knock over your guitar.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
That would have been a few $1,000s. So, Michael, that was incredible. It was so great to hear you sing.
Well, thank you, dear.
It was amazing. Can we give Michael one more hand? Yes. I love your songwriting, and I love your covers too. I love both covers you chose. It was just amazing, all of that. So that last one was just so, you know.
Yeah, well, he was pretty amazing. That was a pretty amazing album he did.
Pretty amazing album. Skinner Creek.
Nothing like death to just bring out the
Yes.
emotion.
The best songs ever. And of course, your Skinner Creek and all the songs that you wrote also for Lori, and bringing Lori in so much like this, it was amazing. So Michael has 2 CDs, and they're on his website. Should I get them?
We already showed them.
I showed you the CDs. So Michael has a couple of CDs, and there's some CDs here too. If anybody wants CDs, they're in the back there. And I just want to say how much I appreciate you. I think you're amazing.
Well, thank you.
And I
Pipa.
love seeing
Well, you're pretty
you.
amazing yourself.
But
so.
no, this is about you. This
Oh,
is
right.
about you. And you're shining. You're just going. What?
What's the website?
The
What's the
website is Dred Scott Music. It's D-R-E-D, no, D-R-E-D, Scott Music. S-C-O-T-T. M-U-S-I-C. I never really got through it. Spelling wasn't my strong point. But it's D-R-E-D. The reason it's Dred Scott Music is that I was given the nickname in Texas, Dred. Dred Scott, and I was given...
Dred Shot decision.
Well, it was the Dred Scott decision, but I think it sort of came about, you all know the decision, the Dred Scott decision back in the Civil War days. And I guess, I researched it a little bit, but apparently it was one of the worst decisions ever in the Constitution or whatever. And so I wasn't really good at making decisions when I was in Texas. I made some bad decisions, so that's why I got the nickname.
Yeah. Well, you're making some good decisions now. I mean, you're making
Well, thank
great
you, Pipa.
decisions now. So thank you, Michael, for
Yeah,
being
and
here.
this was a wonderful little show, and thank you for
And
having
did
me.
you have fun?
I appreciate it, yes.
Yeah.
It was very sweet,
It was
yes.
really fun. All right. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. I want to thank the people that are watching it in the future. I wanted to thank the future. So thank you in the future for watching this. I hope you enjoyed as much as we did in the present. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Board. Thank you, PT. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you all for coming out.